I'm here to talk to you about leadership. Every system needs a leader. Everybody's got lots of systems in their lives. We've got home. Our home is our system, is a system. Church is a system. Work. Even the committees that you serve on are all systems. We think that the emphasis is in the wrong place. There's so much pressure on you to come up with the perfect words at the perfect time. And to be extra charismatic and magnetic. Stop the madness. Get off the treadmill. Stop trying to change what cannot be changed. Continued efforts to try and change others can lead to resentment.
No.
And even resistance. Focus on what you can change, which that is all you. Your behaviors, your mindset. You do have control over you. How am I being called to respond to this difficult situation or person? If I were to observe myself right now, what would I want to see? What values do I want to be demonstrating with my behavior right now? And all three of these things allow me to step back and take control of myself again. I like to think of this systems theory stuff as like a map or a compass, a plan. Calmer churches have calmer leaders. The leader of the family is anxious, and the whole family is anxious because of that, top down. That if I think of myself as a scientist, when I walk into conflict, both in churches and in families, if I go to observe, I can step back and allow this gap in which I don't have all the answers. I'm there to make discoveries. I'm there to be a scientist. I may ask myself, where am I feeling this? I'm feeling anxious. Where's it coming from? Is it a person? Is it something somebody said, a word they used? And am I falling right back into my fixing, over-functioning mode? During times of anxiety and conflict, how do you maintain your sense, your own direction, and not get hooked into the drama that's going on around you? This right here is the key to the kingdom. If you can do this, I think you can do just about anything. You know, emotional fingerprint. It's like all of our fingerprints are unique. So are our emotions. It's our worldview. It's how we look at the world. It's the lens that we choose to see the world through. And that starts, and a big part of it is from our family of origin. First of all, what did your family think about conflict? That has a lot to do with what you think about it today. What was your role within your family? Roles are labels, and you know your parents gave you one, more than just a nickname. All of these things that our parents told us who we were, the box that they put us in, we still carry that today. What are your triggers? And you know, by that, I mean, what makes your heart beat fast and your pulse race? It can be a smell. It can be a song. Systems says that your sibling position can be a huge part of not only what kind of expectations do you have for people, and what is your preferred leadership style? How does anxiety process? You know, did everybody come home and did you just triangle, and were people responsible for their own? These 5 things and more make up your emotional fingerprint. Being aware of them can help you manage yourself better during tough times. As you can only guess, congregations are a collection of a bunch of people from different families of origins with everybody's got their emotional fingerprint. This is a litmus test right here to determine who is more highly differentiated and who is on the lower end of the scale. So it just comes down to kind of 2 words. So you'll have those that will come up to you and they'll say, Pastor, I agree with you because, or I disagree with your presentation. So they're responding to your message. Then you will have those that will say, you were wrong when you said this, or how can you say that? If you do nothing other than staying calm, this is going to automatically bring down the anxiety within the system. There's no trick to this. You may be on the inside, you know, your heart may be hammering, and you may be short of breath and scared to death, but if you appear calm, it makes a huge difference. I think this is better to be done in a relatively, when things are relatively calm in your life, to take the time to define and clarify your beliefs, commitments, and life principles. Don't rely too heavily on techniques. Calm and thoughtful processing of your own emotions is going to be the best tool that you can have. We need an immune system. Well, we need something to protect and defend us. And it keeps out the diseases and the viruses and makes sure that our congregation stays healthy. First of all, clarify your congregational mission and purpose, because that strengthens it. Hey, how about putting healthy conflict norms and procedures on destructive behavior? Put some boundaries around those troublemaking people. You as leaders, you function as the immune system through self-regulation, modeling that for your congregation. And I'm talking, when I say self-regulation, I'm talking about taking responsibility for your own stuff, your own actions, clearly defining yourself, staying calm and connected during times of conflict. All these things can help you, can strengthen your church's ability to act through challenges. So you've got some things going wrong. What, are you going to need a Band-Aid, or are you going to have to cut it off? That depends on 4 things. You have to be curious. You have to be able to move from certainty to curiosity. All you need is stamina, resolve, stay connected, self-regulation of emotions, and the capacity to see something that isn't even there. Right? You've got to be willing to go through a temporary, and temporary is the key word here, more acutely painful stage. Playfulness creates flexibility, and it can break a negative cycle. You know, I want you to think of conflict as like a tight knot, and what play and humor can do to that knot is loosen it up and allow grace into the situation. When I have an anxious parent come to me, I ask them, when is the last time your family laughed together? And almost always they say to me, I can't remember. Playfulness. It's huge. It's not everybody's going to agree with you all the time. Persistence, and there it is again. Despite the reactivity of others, remain on course. Stay the course. Avoid adapting to negative voices. Practicing self-regulation of reactions. You know, what I mean by that is every time that you decide to step back and be a scientist, your threshold for pain gets a little higher. And practice it. And I even practice it in my head. Tolerate the loneliness. Because it is going to be lonely at times. Taking that forward into defining who we are. There are people that have done this and done it well. Even Buzz Lightyear. Yeah. I love that, be in the world but not of the world. If you take one of these ideas, if you decide, well, I'm going to go back and look at my family of origin. I'm going to become a little more self-aware. Or I'm going to look at my triggers. Or if you decide, I'm going to try, you know, I'm having problems with this person in church. I'm going to reach out and try and stay in contact with them, even though I know that they're mad at me. these little seeds, these little changes can grow into great, big, wonderful differences.